Yo, this is Edward 369. You already know. Came to tell my vision once again. And how we doing today, you guys? So I just came back, I guess. Like, I feel like this always happens to me, you know. I really think this could be my purpose, you know, to do this, like, just to make videos, to tell people like what I've been through, you know, what I'm going through. And I always learn that, like, the hard times that you went through and all those things that you've accomplished, you know, going through all those hard times, you know, how you came out of it. And I realized that just me telling someone that, like, that could help them out, you know. And I mean, lately, since I haven't been making videos, I was really just focusing on getting to where I wanted to be, you know. I wanted certain things, you know. And I feel like it's like a ladder or like a staircase, you could say, you know. Like, the first level, you gotta make some sacrifices, you know. You gotta, if you want something, you gotta do what you have to do to go get that, you know. And I feel like I did that. Like, I used God in a way. Like, I used everything that I knew, that I learned, all in that time that I was like in my isolation, you could say. And I used it to my advantage, you know. I went out, I looked for a job, you know. I came out here, I came out into something new, you know, something that could just help me grow, you know, not keep me in the same spot, you know. So I chose to jump out into the world, you know, to see what the world really has for me, you know. Like, me asking for things and it giving it to me just because it knows that I have a good purpose. I have a good intention behind everything that I'm doing, you know. And I feel like once you start doing that, he'll start showing you like what you should be doing, like what works and what doesn't work, you know. So I feel like now, like, like this past like month or this past year, I mean this year, the 2024, since January, today is the 13th, February 13th, 2024. And shit, I feel like God has, he'll come to you when it's your time, you know. And sometimes you gotta take advantage of that time that you know. I just got mind tracks already because I don't know, there's like someone with a speaker outside with like speaking like the word type thing, like, so, oh, they thought you were gonna give up. It's like in Spanish, but that's crazy. No, but like, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's like, it comes together. Like, he's been trying to show me like what's there for me, what he has for me, you know. And I feel like every time that I get to this point, it's like, damn, I gotta make a video. I have to make a video. I have to speak what's on my mind right now, you know. And it's crazy because I feel like there's times when I'm like, nah, I don't feel like it, or I don't wanna. I'm not good enough. I'm not what everybody needs, you know. I'm not what people need to hear right now. But I was like, what if it is me? What if what if what I tell someone one day can make them someone famous or someone that creates something magical? That's what I always had in my head, you know. Someone in my life, or someone that comes into my life and I come into theirs, you know, like you could say magically or divinely, you know. And what's it called? I tell him something that makes him create something, and it makes him And I feel like one day that person would tell me, or he would tell the world, be like, oh, the reason why I'm here today is because this one guy I talked to, he changed my mind. He changed my mind forever. Ever since that day, I knew what I had to do. I knew where I was supposed to go, you know? And I mean, I feel like I'm talking about myself at this point, but it's really everyone, you know? Everybody has these powers. And I mean, you could say some, you know? Some of it, I mean, we all have our own divine ability, you know? But, like, I feel like it's becoming more clear to me, you know? Because of the confirmation that I hear from people around me, and the signs. Like, even when I'm by myself, bro, it's like he like showed me, so it's like so deep, and it's like he's actually speaking to me, you know? Like, I'm just gonna give an example. Like, yesterday, it was like a weird day, bro. Like, everything was so perfect, so like, oh, he was just trying to talk. Like, I feel like he was trying to make me, like, my soul come out in a way. Like, my soul was speaking to other souls in a way. Like, we were getting attracted to each other, you know? So, or like, you know, I came to help someone out, you know? I was put right there in that spot. Because yesterday, I was gonna take the bus, you know? And I had a freaking, I was supposed to have, like, my bus pass on my phone, and I didn't buy it yet. So I had took $5 that I had in cash, so just in case I didn't get it done, like, before the bus came, you know? So I got the $5, I put it in my pocket, and then while I was walking, I was, like, trying to get my bus pass, you know? And while I was at the bus, I see, like, I don't know if he was homeless or he was in a bad situation or whatever, you know? He was like, it looked like he was asking everybody at the bus stop, like, for money, but no one really was like, everybody was like, don't talk to me, you know? And then I was just really waiting for what, if he wanted to tell me something or what, you know? And then, like, right when the bus was coming, he was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna say it, you know? And I felt that he came close to me, and he was like, hey, do you happen to have, like, $5 for the bus pass, or $1 or something? And then I thought of it, and I was like, damn, I just checked my pocket. And then that's when I was like, damn, I have the $5 from what I brought, you know? And I just gave it to him because it was like, I felt like it was a sign, because before I left, I didn't even grab the $5. I was like, nah, I don't need it, you know? But then I grabbed it just in case, you know? And then when I was there, it was like, oh, you have $5. And I felt like in that moment, I was an angel, you know? I was like the one giving to someone, helping someone out, you know? And that felt good, you know? That made me feel like I can be this, like, someone, like, it's not that hard to just help someone, you know? All you gotta do is just play that part, you know? Be that person that actually says, okay, here you go. Or, you know? And, well, yeah, like, that was, like, a weird, like, confirmation for me, you know? And then there was another one that was, like, at work, we were, like, in an elevator, and this girl, like, well, I was on the elevator going down, you know? And then I guess the elevator came up to my floor because she didn't press the button or something. And she was like, oh, I'm trying to go down, you know? And she was going up. Like, I was on the last floor on that elevator, you know, 14th floor. And she got in on that floor, and she was like worried. She's like, oh, is it gonna keep going up? I was like, nah, it's okay, like, this is the last floor, you know? And she was like, oh, like, so we're gonna go down. And I was like, yeah, we're going down. And then she was like stressing. She was like, oh, I was like, where are you going then? Like, what floor? And she was like, oh, I'm going to 1. And then I press 1, boom, we go down to 1. And then, like, she walks out, and I'm still going to the basement, like, 1 more down. And she was like, where you, like, she's like, you're going up? She's like, you were going up then? And I was like, nah, I'm going more down, like, 1 more down. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, the basement is downstairs. And she was like, whoa. And she, like, jumped back in the elevator because she was like, no, that's where I'm supposed to go. You know? Because she was, like, confused. I guess she was new or something. And then she she comes back into the basement. She's like, "Oh, I'm not well," and I'm like, "Whoa." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Like, I feel like I wanted to tell her, like, breathe, like, calm down, bro. Like, but I feel like we're not all in on the rights. We're not like all. We don't all do the work. You know, we're not all there. We're like all on our own timing. You know, and I felt like, I don't know. I felt like I could see where she was in her life, but it felt good because like when we were leaving, I felt like she was grateful that I was like there with her to help her, you know, because it felt like she had like anxiety or something. And then when I was like saying bye, like, "Oh yeah, you have a good day," you know, she was like, "Oh, thank you." Like, she was like, "I love that butterfly." She told me, "What does it mean?" You know, and I was like, "Oh, for me, it means like transformation." You know, like we're something, like we're born as something. We're born as what people tell us that we are, you know. And I told her, I was like, "Yeah, like I changed, you know. I wasn't what I used to be, you know. I'm not what I used to be." And she told me, she was like, "Oh, I love that." And she was like, "Oh, because the caterpillar, before he's a butterfly, he has to die, you know. He has to become a butterfly to fly, you know." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking of getting me a butterfly on my arm too, you know." Like, yeah, like things like that. It's like people ask me a lot about my butterfly. People ask me like what does it mean and all this stuff. And I feel like that's like God wanting me to explain something to someone. He's like, explain how your point of view, you know, my point of view. Explain it. Like, let people see how you feel, how you see the world, you know. And I mean, shit, I'm just talking right now. I don't know what my voice can do, but at the same time, I know that my voice is powerful. And I know that when I do speak, that it makes things happen, you know. And I learned that God loves when I choose Him and I choose to do these things. And I feel like you can even see it in my face, like my eyes. I'm like, I feel happy right now. I feel like I'm able to speak and I'm not scared. I'm not worried about what people are gonna say to me, what people are gonna think, you know. And we made it this far, you know. And I just wanted to come up here just to say a little something, you know, just to keep my channel alive. You know, I don't want it to die, you know. I want to keep doing this. I want this to be who I am. Because at this point, I feel like that's really all I really am. I am this is my purpose, you know. This is who I'm supposed to be. You know? If you don't like that shit, no. No, I mean, the world is the world, you know. Changes, constant changes. And, you know, I'm always gonna try my best. You know, my circumstances. But, you know, that's why I wasn't really making videos, because I feel like I was focused on other things, you know, things to get me on my feet, you know, because I wasn't really where I wanted to be, you know. But then at the same time, like when I was doing that, I got lost, you could say. And I feel like God always tries to pull me back. He was like, "Hey, like, you getting lost, like, remember why you're here, you know, remember why you're doing all this stuff." And it's like, yeah, you can have all these things, but remember why I'm giving it to you. Why? It's because He wants me to be comfortable, and He wants me to be able to come up here on this video and speak it out, you know, and say how much I love it. I love how much He's helping me, how much He's in my life, you know, and how much He helps me to help other people that are in my life too, you know. And I feel like that's what I love to do, you know. I love to be that person that people remember. People are like, "Hey, that fool, what he did that day, or what I learned from him, I'm never gonna forget it," you know. And that's what I'm out here for, you know. And you know, this is Edward 369. I came to tell my vision once again. I'll try to be back soon. Y'all stay tuned, because this ain't over.